You're not on the field, court, or ice. You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, Cwall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's Cwall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Court on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it make 'em mad, man. Cwall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to Coaching from the Couch, live from the studio. I am your host, Cwall. So happy to have you all here. Well, I guess it's still a winter wonderland, getting ready to get kicked off outside. Hopefully it's not too much going on once we get back out there, but it was definitely snowing when we came in. I have to acknowledge my amazing team and my live studio audience that is here tonight with me. Sabrina is here, Frenika is here, Joy is here, and they will be engaged in the conversation because I'm going to start looking at them in a minute. Like, help me out. One of the great things about being live is that you sometimes got to go with it on the fly. You know what is happening? We just going to roll with it. But we are so glad that we have you all here with us to experience it live together. So, before I get kicked off, there is a share button, my friends. When you're watching this video, there is a button that says share. Definitely share it to your family, friends, any of your sports groups that are die-hard DC Sports Everything fans. If you think they would love to be a part of this conversation live, definitely get the word out to them so they can join us. As you all know, I'm trying to get better with pulling this up live, but it don't be working. So, not for me. So, we will see in a moment what happens if I'm able to pull it up myself. If not, whenever you all are asking questions or engaging in the conversation, definitely Sabrina, Frenika, or Joy will for sure let me know. So, let's get right into it. First up, DC United, our Major League Soccer team, was in the news today because they have extended their head coach, Ben Olsen. That is great news to some of us because Ben has been doing a fantastic job, and he definitely has had an impressive midseason just this past year with the DC United record and, of course, the signing of superstar Wayne Rooney. So we are so happy to have Coach Olsen through 2021. Just so you all know some of his highlights, he has 221 games played, 101 wins as head coach, 5 playoff appearances, and 8 trophies. So we will continue to see Coach Olsen coaching the black and red. So go United. Wanted to shout him out since that just happened today. Wizards are across the pond. And they won. The game came on at 3, so you might have missed it because you know how with the time difference and everything. But they won. They beat the Knicks by 1 point. Thomas Bryant, who has just been, isn't he just doing wonderful things for the squad right now? I mean, I'm a little impressed. I had my jokes about Thomas Bryant at first, but you know what? He is all right with me. He had the game-winning point, so that's what's up. What I really want to mention about the Wizards right now is there's been questions about tanking. I know I asked that, everyone, tank for Zion. It's like a hashtag now, tank for Zion. Zion Williamson, he's a phenomenal basketball player with the Duke Blue Devils. Go Duke. I hope I don't make nobody mad. Yes, I know, Frenika, it's okay.
No, it's not.
You live. But at any rate,
Tar Heel.
she can't. It's okay. We We all can't always agree on everything. But at any rate, you want the Wizards to tank. They say tank is now in session. What is tanking? Tanking is deliberately losing so that you have a great place in the draft to get one of the top players. So I've heard a slew of people say the tank is now in session. Once John went down, of course, Dwight Howard, has he even played this season? I be forgetting he's on the team. Markieff Morris, he is still out. So it's tank or go home. That's what folks want. I express to you all that I am not for tanking. Tanking is not my thing. You know, maybe I got a little bit too much pride to tank. Tank ain't where I'm at with it. And plus, I honestly, this is, really feel like when your star player goes down, you can't just say, oh well, we're done. You got to keep plugging away. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep battling. So, with that being said, Ted Leonsis, owner of the Washington Wizards, was asked about tanking. Flat out. Are y'all going to tank? And Ted said absolutely not. Ted has spoken. He said, wait a minute, tanking is not an option. He's made it very clear that he's been very adamant that in spite of the injuries, he still fully expects the team to go for the playoffs, make the playoffs. That's what it's for. And you know what, daggone it, I'm with Ted. Because it's still way too much. It's still too many coins. It's way too many dollars and cents on that court for the team to just be like, oh well, because John is hurt. I'm with Ted. We can't go out like that. We can't just tank. It's too much money to tank. It's just Brad is still the asset, right? That's the guy that every team wants. That's the one that everybody wants. That's the sexy one on the team. And then Otto just making way too much money as far as I'm concerned. And Yamahimi we still got him on payroll. So as long as all these big money makers are making that good green dollar, they need to go ahead. They need to go ahead and play their hearts out. I don't care how they do it. Just act like you care. Anything.
She sounds desperate.
I know I'm desperate. Please. My gosh. Good grief. What can we do? And look at I can see comments. I can see some comments. So, my favorite Donna joined. Hi, Donna. I can't see everybody's comments. Hi, Donna. And yes. Hey, my auntie. My aunt sis, Julia Topley, she's on. And Andre, yes, Ted needs to fire Ernie. I think we are, please, yes. I guess you could say fire Ernie. I guess I can say I agree with that. But and yes, Sherrod, as long as Ernie is the GM, I'm convinced every year we trying to tank. That'd be my question sometimes. Well, if we wasn't trying to tank, what were we doing? Because it didn't look like we were trying to win. But at any rate, I hope they keep the party going for sure, and trying to win some games here. Every game is important. Every game matters. So, I think I'm done with the Wizards right now. Let's go on to Bryce Harper talk. I guess it is always quiet. I don't know. Should I talk about Bryce next? Okay. So I asked this question a while back, right? After the Nats season was over, and it's been all this talk about Bryce since it's been a lot about Bryce. So I asked again on social media, where do you think Bryce is going? Do you want him back, or are you just completely over this topic? Who cares? So I have some comments that I want to read off to you, to folks that responded to that question. And I also have some updates on what's all the new news. Maybe it's not new to some of you all, but perhaps it's new to others. What is really the deal here, Bryce? Okay? Can you just sign and let us go on with somebody? Because it's stressing everybody out. So listen, Jamal Piper says, Dodgers or Phillies, I ain't mad if he does. If the price isn't right, let him go. Can't compromise an entire roster in baseball paying one player crazy money. Only a few can literally afford to. That's the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Yankees, the Angels, and the Red Sox. Okay. John Adams says, I think we as Nats fans still have a chance, and yeah, I want him back. Dave Thomas says, not for the price he wants. I'm sure there will be less expensive options in free agency. And then my girl Simone Taylor says, I'm over it, honestly. I was immediately one of the ones saying sign him back at whatever cost. But once you look at his stats, the last 2 years, he was a pretty average hitter. No, someone will give him what he wants over the $300 million he's asking. I just don't think it should be the Nats. We have to make sure we also leave room for a bigger deal for Rendon, who is about due next year for a big payday. So let me pause there. I don't know if there's any feedback online on this topic, but let me pause there because I want to pause here because Simone is bringing up a very good point, right? Rendon is due for a big payday, so I had to go and look through and say, okay, well, how much money do we have? Because here's the thought process. If the Nats are still pursuing Bryce, then clearly there's enough money. One would think. I think it's safe to think that, but you never know. So here's just some background information just for those of you who may not know if you want Bryce or not. Here's just some more. So the Nats exceeded the luxury tax threshold the past 2 seasons, right? And is going to be up again in 2019. So the penalties get steeper when the teams exceed the threshold in consecutive years. And then there's a surtax for exceeding it by 20 to 40 million. So signing Bryce would put the Nats over, the 20 million threshold in 2019. Okay? So they already over. We already know they're going over. Anthony Rendon actually has the same agent as Bryce Harper. So he gonna get his money. Trust me. Because Bryce gonna get his. So I'm sure Scott Boras, who is their agent, is gonna make sure Anthony get his. And they're thinking, this is per Major League Baseball Network insider Ken Rosenthal in an article for The Athletic, that Anthony Rendon's contract will be similar to the Astros' Jose Altuve. All right? Now, this is a lot of money we talking about, so I don't want to be off by a digit. So I'm about to read this to y'all, okay? So the Astros gave Altuve a 5-year, $151 million extension before 2018 season, covering 2020 through 2024. So at the time, Altuve was already under contract for $12.5 million over 2018 and 19, bringing his total deal to 7 years and $163.5 million. So, signing Bryce Harper, right, and extending Anthony Rendon would give the Nets a combined luxury tax number of over $130 million for 5 players. So that's Bryce, that's Anthony, that's Max Scherzer, that's Steven Strasburg, and that's Patrick Corbin. For those 5. Okay? I guess the Nats got it. But I just wanted to give some feedback, you know what I'm saying, on how much all this really costs. Potentially, right? Want to give some feedback on how much this really costs. So then you go back to what are people saying? Okay, so Randall Thomas says, I hope Bryce stays. CJ Banks says Bryce can kick rocks. Deion Black was like, hey, don't sleep on Bryce's money. It still is up and down. It still is up and down of what the people want Bryce to do. The Cubs have the money, but it's been reported that they said Bryce not coming here. That's not happening. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now the Phillies might be leading the Bryce Harper chase, right? They're vying for Bryce's love, and they had a 5-hour meeting out Vegas this past weekend. 5 hours. I'm not spending that much time with nobody. 5 hours. That's just me though. But Bryce spent that with the Phillies. I don't know. The Phillies got it. And they said if it came down to the Phillies and the Nats, guess what? The Phillies could offer Bryce more closer to what he wants and what he's asking. Now, at one point, just a few weeks ago, it was looking like the Nats might have a chance. Now it's looking like more of a long shot. I don't know what to say. I'm going to say what I've always said. It would be great. I think fans would be really excited. But Bryce is stalling, and he's stalling for a reason. He's stalling because he wants his cash. His number is $400 million. And whoever gets the closest to that $400 million that's where he going. It's people are shifting stuff around to make sure he gets his dollars and cents. And hey, I'm with it. But it's clear, at least to me, that Bryce is truly letting this work out on its own. And he like, get me to that number. Call me later. I'm mad. I'm not upset. And my cousin Bridget Neal, she's online. Yes, I'm sure those drinks were probably flowing. That's the only way I'm sitting in Vegas for 5 hours anywhere to talk to anybody. As Aaron Jessup says, I'd love to keep Bryce at a reasonable price. I think that's the name of the game. If we can keep him at a reasonable price, okay. But nobody's going to break their bank for Bryce. I don't think you should do that for anybody, me personally. You can't just let the whole entire roster go for one player. That's just me. And sharing that with you all. Anybody else have anything to say? Because I'm sitting up here and I'm like, I don't know about Bryce. I don't have nothing else to say about Bryce. I don't have anything else to say about. I mean, it would be all over the news. Wherever he goes, he's gonna bring that star flair with him. But I think the name of the game is he has a price, and he's not deviating from that price. In his mind, it is probably, if you want me that bad, you're going to pay me what I ask for.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So, yeah, I mean, hey, Sabrina, that's what a lot of other people feel. It's like, you've been here, you've been in this city for a while now. If you have that camaraderie to the fan base that loves you so much, the fan base loves Bryce. Seriously, he, I always think about, my goon squad, my people from different players, but that's why different teams, from the area. And Bryce Harper he's a household name when you talk DC athletes. And he's a household name in his respective sport as well. So having him here is good just for the overall camaraderie and fandom of baseball in DC. However, he wants a lot of money. It's a lot of cash, Jack. So we shall see what happens there. Okay, let's go. Next up, the conversation that I love to talk about, but gives me so much stress. The Redskins. I don't have nothing too bad to say this week. I'm going to say something good. For once.
They're not playing.
And that's because they're not playing.
They're winning.
So I guess they're somewhere winning off the field. So, but shout out to Deron Payne for being named to Pro Football Writers of America 2018 All-Rookie Team. Let me tell y'all something. Deron Payne is a beast. Let me just tell y'all, and during training camp, I have to mention this, and if Don, I don't know if Don is still on, but when we were sitting out there, he got hurt, like one of the very first, and I think I told some of my friends I was about to have a panic attack. Everybody, it just got super duper quiet, and everybody was freaked out because at the end of the day, everybody just saw the first round pick go down, and the reality is he is a stone cold beast. So Deron Payne is still, in a bleak season, he's definitely still one of my bright spots personally, and just being able to say I saw him when he was first here, and hopefully see him progress as time goes on, hopefully as he stays here. But just to share, he had a very strong rookie season overall, 56 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. So of the defense's 1,033 snaps, He played 796. Durability. Because I'd have been maxed out at about 500. I'd have been over it at 500. Get me out of here. Hey, listen. Andre White is saying something very big. I'm glad I caught this. Derwin James is the safety. Where is Derwin? With the 49ers? I think he's with the 49ers. Or is he with the... Yes, I think he's with the 49ers. I wanted Derwin James too. I can't even say. He's a safety. Tremendous year. He did make the first team Pro Bowl. Yes, Derwin James is awesome, but Deron Payne is good. Very, very good. I don't know what he's saying. So, let's see. Jonathan Allen was elected to the Northern Virginia Football Hall of Fame. That was actually just announced about 6 or 7 minutes before we started on the show. So congratulations to Jonathan Allen. We know he's from the area. Oh, he plays for the Chargers? I know it was somebody in California. Derwin James played for the... He played for somebody in California. I got that part right. Thank you. Chargers. I was like, he's somewhere where it's sunny and nice. He doesn't play here. That's all I knew. At any rate, thank you. Jonathan Allen, congratulations to you, sir. He's a leader. He's up and coming for sure. And it's positive to have his energy around. Really, really positive. He's about his business, and I appreciate that. That's all I can say about him. Now, let's go ahead and really quick. Somebody else. What?
No, I'm laughing at
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
She wants to know how you feel about Snoop commentating at the hockey game the other day. Snoop commentated at the hockey game. Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg? He did what?
He commentated at the hockey game the other day.
Listen, I don't have time. No. Don't do it again.
Made it interesting.
And shout out to Andre White. Go ahead. Thank you. Appreciate everything you're doing. And thank you for that Chargers. I knew he played with somebody out there. I'm with you on that one, brother, for sure. For sure. Strength and conditioning. Redskins, strength and conditioning coach. Let me go to this page really quick so I can pull it up. I do not want to misspeak on what Grant Paulson said, and I have to quickly move on. Redskins head strength and conditioning coach Chad Engelhardt is one of the coaches Washington is not allowing to talk with other interested teams. A source said he's been in D.C. for 9 years and has run the strength and conditioning program since 2017. Oh, I guess since everybody started getting hurt. That's when he's been running the program, and that's all I got to say about that. Like, you know what? Hey, nice guy. Really. There's a lot. Okay, listen. I hear people say that injuries are bad luck, and some of them absolutely are. Let's be very clear. Some of them, you just breaking your leg, that's bad luck. And your other quarterback, that's really, really bad luck. And you can't call it. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be some level of accountability when you're talking 20 plus injuries in 2 consecutive years. Everybody's a suspect at this point. The field is a suspect. The coaches are a suspect. The strength and conditioning program should be questioned, because strength and conditioning is part of the organization. And at some point, there has to be, Jamal Piper said it so well on one of my posts, there has to be a tangible reason why this is happening. You can't run me with this is bad luck. Whenever I hear people talk about it being bad luck about these injuries, it reminds me of how people say the Redskins are cursed because of their name. It's like the same thing. Right. It's like a shift of accountability. Like, oh, well, you're not going to win until you change your name. Well, you're not going to get, we just got bad luck. I don't know. We just got the injury bug. You can't, we cannot say that, because it just shifts accountability too much not to my liking. And somebody has to answer for this. And that's my challenge with that. Frenika, I hope you don't mind me saying this. I know you're a season ticket holder, proud season ticket holder, very proud, die-hard Redskin fan. I'm going to say that. I don't know if you're proud anymore. Let's be real about it. You know what I'm with you 110%. I'm glad she said that. You heard it here live. So that is what that is, and that's real stuff. But you can't keep putting it on. It's just bad luck.
No.
Speak on it if you like.
I mean, that's the one thing that we always talk about is strength and conditioning. Mm-hmm. The same players getting hurt every game. Love Moses, but he goes down every game. We like wait for it. I mean, literally, we're in the stands like wait.
Yeah.
And the first time somebody in the offensive line gets hurt, everyone calling his number. They think it's him. They think it's so you have to actually think about it and say something's not right here. You gotta put your finger on it somewhere.
I like you a lot, but 20 plus. In 2 years.
So by the time the end of the season, you have all these people playing. You don't even know who they are.
I don't even know who they are. Who are you? Okay, all right, cool.
Right.
Literally.
Like, when did we get him? Yeah.
When did we get him?
And they've been there for 2 days, and we expect them to catch every ball that comes their way. They've only been there 2 days.
Yeah.
So,
and that's not even fair. And then your leg might be gone.
Right.
Then your leg might be who knows where your leg is.
You home for 6 years and you came back now and your leg broke,
Oh gosh, now you got no leg messing around. But at any rate, I had to bring that up. I thought what would be very cool, and I think I have no other stress to talk about with the Redskins. Ain't nothing else changed. There you go. On next time. Same old thing. We'll be talking about something about them next week. It'll be something else. But surprisingly, not a lot of drama.
That's early.
It's very early. No news is just no news with them. It don't mean necessarily good news, but it just means no news is no news. So I decided to do a little research. While those of us who are Redskins fans and all other team fans, I decided to just, if your team is not playing this weekend on Sunday, then you're at home. So I said, you know what? There's quite a few local players from this area that are still playing. And I wanted to shout them out. Because y'all know I get real excited about that kind of thing. I'm like, yes, at least it's somebody. So not necessarily that I have a favorite or anything like that. I'm going to be rooting for the home team guys that are just going to be out there, whether they're starting or not or what have you. Guess what? Every single one of those guys has an opportunity. If their team wins, if they're starting or not, guess what? They're going to get a ring. So let's see. Who did I find? So with the Saints, I only found one player from the Saints. And guess what? And if you all are online and you know somebody else that's playing with the Saints, the Rams, the Patriots, or the Chiefs, and I miss them, shout their name out on the chat, and we're going to give them a shout out. So Ken Crawley, number 20 cornerback. He's from here. He went to Woodson. So shout out to Woodson. Blake Countess. And Ken Crawley plays for the Saints. Blake Countess, he's number 24. He's a corner with the Rams. He went to Good Counsel. He's from Baltimore. He's from B-More. And yes, I'm going to claim Todd Gurley because Todd Gurley is from Baltimore. So even though he went to high school at Tarboro High School in North Carolina, he's from Baltimore, so I threw him on the list. Rob Havenstein, he's from Linganore. He's from Linganore High School. I was like, oh, where the wine festivals are?
That's all we know.
So he plays for the Rams. That's all I knew. I didn't think they even had a high school there. That's what's up. John Johnson for the Rams. He went to Northwestern High School. That's what's up. He's a strong safety. Micah Kaiser, also with the Rams. He went to the Gilman School out Baltimore. He's a linebacker. Shout out to him. Kansas City Chiefs. Frenika, former favorite Redskin. Kendall Fuller. Let's shout out Kendall Fuller. Good luck to you, my friend. Frenika's buddy. He went to Our Lady of Good Counsel. Why is that so funny to me? He's from Baltimore, Maryland. Oh man, let me run through this list. Jawan Bentley, Joe Cardona, Keon Crossan, Derek Rivers. All of these young men have the potential to win a Super Bowl ring, and are going to be doing wonderful things this weekend in support of their team. If you know them in real life, I like to call it, definitely shout them out and definitely let them know that you're rooting for them. I'm rooting for all of them. Now I can enjoy the games in peace, since all the NFC East teams are at home. Woo! It got rough there, buddy. So, you know, I'm just like, oh my God, it was almost over. But yes, so listen, next week, we're going to hope for the best all week long. Next week, and right after the show, I'll be going down to Capital One Arena. Golden State Warriors, the home team. Kevin Durant will be in town to face the Wizards. And we are at 8 o'clock. So you all, guess what? Have a beautifully blessed evening. And we will see you back here next week. Talk to you later.